Hey guys, I'm back. So today we're making kind of a complicated dish. We're making lasagna, but we're gonna make it over a few hours. So you totally don't have to make your own sauce. I'm gonna show you the sauce that I'm gonna make for it. The sauce is gonna start, it's around 11 o'clock in the morning. It's a Sunday, so we're gonna start at 11. We're gonna let it go for a few hours, and then we're gonna put the lasagna together and bake it. So let's get started with our sauce. So we just have a sturdy pot here, just like a sauce pot. And we're gonna actually start with, we're gonna make this a meat lasagna. So we're gonna start with sweet Italian sausage. Okay, now that we have our sausage, we're gonna break it up with our spatula. Now that our sausage has started cooking, we're gonna make the base for our sauce. So it's just onions and garlic. So we're gonna start with a whole onion. We're just gonna dice it up. We're actually going to cook this in the fat from the sausage. Going to take a couple cloves. I mean, I like garlic. These are little cloves. Okay. So we got like three cloves of garlic. So we're going to dice these guys up. And if your garlic looks like rotten, don't use that. Ew. So, our sausage is nice and brown. We have a bowl or plate. We're just gonna, I have a paper plate. We're just gonna take it out so we can get the sauce going and the onions. So let's just go like this. After our onions sweat, we're gonna add our garlic, let it go for about 30-40 seconds. And then we're gonna add in a few tablespoons of tomato paste. Let that all mix together. And then we're gonna add a whole can of chunky style ground peeled tomatoes. I have a second can. I don't know if we're gonna use 2 cans or 1. I haven't decided yet. Let's just get these guys still going and turn this down. So what I'm going to use for the sauce, little onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper. So remember, I'm not adding a ton of spices, and I'm not adding cheese or anything because we're going to have lasagna. It's going to be plenty cheesy in the cheese layers that we will make later on. So let's check out our onions and just give them a quick stir. Goodness. So our onions are getting a little brown, which makes sense from the sausage drippings. Getting a little caramelized. They're not burning, just getting a little brown. Just fine. Close this. All right, so we're going to add our garlic now. Which is behind us. There's the garlic. We're gonna let that go for about 30 seconds or so we don't burn it. And you know garlic is done or they're starting to cook when you can smell it. Not that you can smell this, but all right. So I can start to smell our garlic. So I just added about a tablespoon or so of tomato paste. I want to get it up close and personal, but I mean, this filming is not great. So we are just kind of cooking our tomato paste. Right, getting that raw tomato flavor out. Okay. All right, cool, we're back on the tripod. So now we can see this. We're still working our paste, so let's add. Now that our paste has been heated through, we're gonna add our tomatoes. We have our chunky style tomatoes. We're gonna try not to make a huge mess. Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna try to get all of it out. Nice. I'm gonna add some seasonings now. Start with salt. You need a lot of salt. Tomatoes literally taste like nothing. Freshly ground pepper. Again, good amount. Italian seasoning. Does the work for you. I love Italian seasoning. Let's turn this way down because it's already starting to boil. Garlic powder. And just a splash of onion powder. Awesome. So we're gonna give this all a stir. Now let that go right back in. Try to get all the, the goods off the plate. Fold it in. Right? Oh yeah. Now, I don't know, I probably should add a little bit more. I know I said I was only gonna do 1 can, but I think I'm gonna do a can and a half. So let's grab another can of our stuff, and we're just gonna use half of this. All right, let's do half. You know, cooking is all about adapting. Okay, so we're gonna add about half of this can. So it's going. It's probably about half. Put this here. Now let's give this all a stir. All right, yeah. That's pretty. Now I know we already seasoned, but since we added a little bit more sauce, I'm gonna add some more salt. Okay. Oh yeah. We're actually gonna turn this back up because I do want it to simmer a little bit. And I'm gonna also add a little bit more Italian seasoning. I'm not really measuring, but I'll put some rough measurements on the description. All right, so now we're just gonna let this simmer. So I'm gonna close that up. So I cleaned up a little bit. Our sauce is about to simmer, I hope. We're gonna let it go. I'm actually gonna turn this up a little bit. We're gonna let it go for a couple hours, like I said, but let's actually prep our grated cheese. So it's Sunday, I'm feeling a little fancy. I'm gonna grate my own cheese, but I'm not gonna do it by hand. I'm gonna let the food processor do it. Let's grab the food processor. Low. Our food processor here. Be closer. So we have the food processor. Woo. Plug it in. Okay. Now, when I do cheese, I like to do Parmesan and Romano. So I'm gonna take about a decent sized chunk of cheese here. I'm not that strong. I don't know why I thought that would work. Grab a cutting board, my knife. Romano. This is from last week. Throw that in. I also have a whole other chunk here. Okay. So let's do some of this as well. Romano cheese is so good. It's kind of funky. Blade. We have a whole host of Parm, Romano cheese, not super fine because we're gonna mix some of this with the ricotta and some we're gonna sprinkle on top with some mozzarella cheese, but wasn't that hard, right? Okay. So now I'm gonna clean up, let the sauce go for a couple hours, like I said, and I'm gonna be back in probably like 2-ish hours to do some more. See you in a couple hours. We're back. I forgot I was still wearing this hat. I'm gonna wear it. This hat looks good. Okay, we're back, yay. It's been 3 hours, not 2. I was doing stuff. I'm still doing stuff. But okay, so our sauce is definitely done. Go check it out. I have my little pot holder over it so you can see. Our sauce is done. Looks awesome. So what we're gonna do now is prep our ricotta cheese mixture. I took it out about, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. So we can get a little bit to room temp. So let me grab a bowl. So this is 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. I really think that's all we're gonna need. So let's take this and we're gonna use all of it. See if I can open it. I suck at opening these. Hey, there we go. Come on out. Maybe it'll just come out. Yeah. Let's bring you closer so you can see it. You can see the block of ricotta cheese. We have an egg. So I'm just gonna give the egg a quick crack. Into the sink it goes. And we have our grated Parm and Romano cheese from earlier. I'm just gonna sprinkle some in here. I like cheese. And I'm gonna hit it with a little Italian seasoning to really let people know we like Italian seasoning, and some garlic powder. And then we're gonna mix. I'm gonna use this. See? Yeah, there we go. So we are mixing everyone together. And then it helps when you get your ricotta at room temperature. Makes it a little bit easier to mix everything together. So we're basically mixing till we don't see any, like, you know, yolk. And mixed up here. So now, let's move over here. We're gonna assemble here. I know you can't see my head. So we are going to assemble our lasagna right here. So let me grab all the stuff. Cheeses. Okay. We have some mozzarella cheese right here. We have our Parmesan Romano in a bag. We have our ricotta mixture, our sauce with the sausage, and the best thing ever invented, the oven ready lasagna noodle. You don't have to boil, it cooks like this. So when you're making lasagna, you need, make sure I grab all the stuff I need, might be helpful. Okay, we got that. We got this to spread. Use a spoon too. So let's start assembling. So first, you always start with a layer of your sauce to make sure, let's get a better angle here. You see that? Make sure you get all the way to the edges, right? Because that will help the noodles not stick to the bottom. Grab a little bit more. Okay, awesome. All right, so now we're gonna take our oven ready. My cats are hissing. And we are going to layer them like so. And we're gonna alternate the way we put them in each time. So we have our first layer. Okay, so now that we have our noodles down, let's take some of our ricotta mixture here. Now we gotta do this a few times, so I'm gonna try my best to make this even. You know, one layer always ends up being a little bit thinner than the others, but you know, we try, right? We try. Oh God, I'm not the best spreader of this ricotta cheese. But another reason it's actually not terribly hard to spread, because we had it out at room temp for a little bit. Okay, sauce, let's be generous, I made a lot of sauce. Let's go 2 of these, and let's just use the back of our spoon. And I'm gonna do some parm amount of cheese in the middle, just a little bit, right? Okay. Now, since we did the noodles, what would this be? Vertically, we're gonna do them horizontally now. So we're gonna go 1. So now we're going to use our mozzarella cheese, which we haven't touched yet. And we are going to give this a nice cheesy top. I love mozzarella cheese on my lasagna at the end. Right? This is awesome. Got our mozz, and then we're going to add our parm and romano mixture. Ooh. I like to cover, you know, all the surface area, right? And I like to add a little Italian seasoning before we foil this baby up. Okay. Let's grab some tin foil. Move this stuff around. So we want to bake this covered. So now that this is nice and covered, I'm gonna cook this for about 40 minutes. Get off, and we're gonna cook it for another like 10 uncovered to get, you know, some browning on the cheese. Then I'm gonna actually let it sit for like an hour. Let it harden, and then we will eat. All right, I'll be back when we take the foil off. Okay, please don't be so hot. Looks so good. Melissa looks so good. I'm gonna try. Oh, baby. That is cheesy goodness. All right, back in 15 minutes. Get some color on top, hopefully. Okay, we're done. Melissa, come here. Look at this baby. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, yeah. Look at that, bubbling away. So we are gonna let this sit for like an hour. And then we're gonna eat. So while editing this video, I realized I never actually ended the video. So I just want to say the food was great. I've been eating it for leftovers. Arguably, it's always better the next day. Thank you all for your support. If you want more, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a few weeks. Thanks, guys.